to you, and I hope you're starting off with a wonderful day. Hey, I just wanted to drop on here and talk a little bit about some of the do's and don'ts for building your sales team in 2023. Takes me back to a time, 1987. I had just lost my business and was feeling sorry for myself. I'm sitting on the couch. When I say sitting on my couch, I'm talking for several days, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but I sitting there in my underwear watching television shows, and my wife tosses the newspaper at me, and she had circled some sales positions that were open, and said, "Hey, I think it's time for you to go to work." So uh, I get the paper. I start making some calls. I talk to them, and I take an insurance sales position. Worked out fairly well for a little while. Um, I consider myself to be one of those type of people that I'm a 10 percenter, I think. Actually, I think I'm closer to the 2 percenter. Uh, but unfortunately, I became a majority instead of a minority in the terms of staying in the business, because that part of the business hasn't changed a whole lot, which is, that I still contend, and it's been proven that 9 out of 10 people that get into the insurance business never renew their license. And so I became one of those statistics and did some other things. Now, why do I tell you this story? Well, one of the reasons why I'm telling you this story is because I'm what you consider to be a retread in the insurance industry. And so let me fast forward to 2004, and I was what you would call a nomination or a referral or whatever that might, and you're part of the insurance industry or you're part of the sales industry, that you might call it. But anyway, I was referred to somebody, and I got back into the industry, and I've been in the industry ever since. Now, one of the things about that is I went from coming in by the newspaper to several years later coming back in through a what I would consider to be a nomination, and then I got into recruiting in 2006. Now, in 2006, we had this great thing that was coming of age and starting to work, and I'm not going to name the job board, but we were recruiting from job boards because that was the easiest way to do it, to bring in a lot of people. Excuse me. Bring in a lot of people really quickly and bring them into the business. And that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But I do think that it did cause somewhat of a problem because we started bringing people into the industry that probably shouldn't have been in the industry to begin with. And that's the reason for 9 out of 10 people not staying in the industry. Excuse me again. So, uh, why is that 9 out of 10 people? Well, let's fast forward just a little bit further, and let's go to 2020. We can even come back a little bit to 2019 when COVID hit. Something started to happen, and the trend had already started happening, but it really escalated after that. Man, that's what happens when you go live and you get something caught in your throat. But anyway, something happened. And what happened was social media came into play and started playing a big part in what it is that we do. I was talking to a person the other day, actually, it was yesterday. I was talking to someone, and we were actually having a strategy session. And one of the comments that I made to him was, is if you keep doing the same thing the same way over and over and over again, we've all heard this. That's the definition of insanity. And he was talking to me about using job boards. And I was telling him that, hey, that simply just does not work anymore. You're going to get some results from it, just like you might get some results from a newspaper if we actually still had newspapers delivered to you. Might happen. But would you be recruiting the right type of people? Would it be the type of person that you wanted to recruit? I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, we're in a new world now, and we have such an opportunity to reach out to people and target through artificial intelligence the right type of people that are wanting to get into the industry. And so that's what I'm suggesting to you from a recruiting standpoint is if you want to recruit the right type of people, you want to start by recruiting in 2023 instead of 1987. Now, the way that you can do that is through two ways, basically. I think one of the things, and it's a principle that's never changed, is through referrals and nominations. That should never change. Birds of a feather flock together, and successful people are going to breed other successful people coming into the business. But the other thing is social media. And there's some with artificial intelligence. I know with our company, we have a proprietary system that we use to attract and get people on your calendar of the right type of people. And I just want to say that once you've recruited the right type of person, that's just the first part to it. The second part to that part of the equation is that you need to give them the support that they deserve. Now, how do you do that? You know, I was listening to a podcast the other day from a very successful recruiter in the industry, and he said something and it really kind of surprised me, and I was a little bit shocked when he was talking about his training system and the training that he got, which was the same kind that I got, which was a pat on the back and said, "Hey, go get him, Tiger. You write a deal, and I'll help you put it together for half of what half of your commissions." But anyway, that's the way that it was back then. But he was talking about how it had changed from that to actually having a sales school for them to go to, which is great, and weekly, and this is where I'm going with this, weekly sales meetings to keep up with them. And that surprised me a little bit because that still creates a problem within our industry to think that a new salesperson that doesn't know anything about the insurance industry or any other type of sales industry, to think that you can meet with them once a week and help them with all their sales needs and all answer all their questions and help them through the processes to be able to do that once a week is actually going to work. I say that if you really want to have a successful sales team, you need to practice, drill, and rehearse with them on a daily basis. That's at least for the new people. I would even say that for your leadership team, if you're a leader of leaders, I think you need to be working with your leaders on a daily basis, and they need to be working with their salespeople on a daily basis. Practice, drill, rehearse. How many times have we said that we've come into the system, and one of the things that happens is we just we're doing really well, and then 3, 6 months, 9 months down the road, all those sales that we've been making, now we're making half those sales or a third of those sales or 10% of those sales, to find out that we've swayed away from the real thing that was making the sales to begin with. And that's where doing this on a consistent basis and drilling it into our heads and constantly reminding ourselves. Well, I know that I went a little bit over today, but and I apologize for the interruptions as far as from the coughing. Uh, I don't know what happened. Got a little tickle in my throat there. But anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. Listen, if you'd like to get on a strategy call, I'd love to do that. You can, it's in the link wherever it is on there, up, down, sideways, I don't know, wherever it is. But click on the link. Let's do a strategy call. You know, it is what it's worth, which at this point, hey, it's just strategy. It's just something for us to look at. There's no cost to that, which I would take advantage of it if I were you. But anyway, hope you have a great day. See you soon.